I know you get to pick like where it streams to.
I hope it is. If not, we're fucked.
Let me check on my iPad.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
All right.
Just kidding. Leave me alone.
Okay, you guys good?
All good, mate?
Yep.
Let's see.
Yeah, we're on there.
Sweet. All right. 3, 2, 1. Well, it's our first podcast as a foursome with us. Wait, that was a weird way to start the podcast.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah.
We've had an English podcast before. Okay, all right. Trying to figure out how to cold open this. I've been thinking all day and I haven't been able to think about it. The fan thing was pretty funny. I think we should go back there. But all right. I think
Where I ridicule you.
when you're mean to me.
We open the show with just cyberbullying Zach for 20 minutes before we move on to anything else.
I mean, fantastic. That's my dream show.
All right, guys.
Just call it
It's a
Zach Attack.
little rude.
Yeah.
All right, let's think about this.
What are we thinking about?
The cold open. I don't know how to start the show.
Oh,
I'm drawing a blank here.
why don't you just ask him how England is today?
It's a good idea. All right, let's go. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, governor.
That was really good. You should have just
yeah.
kept it going.
Just
It was better.
immediately make fun of them.
Yeah, right.
It was better than the last Irish one you did.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning to you.
Pete's like, how long do I have to be here for?
Yeah.
He's like,
Guys,
"I gotta go to
instantly
bed."
regretted this.
3, 2, 1. We're joined here by Ian and Pete from England. And first off, how is England doing? You got a new prime minister. The Queen is looking better than ever. Meghan Markle is looking better than ever.
It's a fucking shambles.
Yeah.
Your future king is doing ballet lessons.
It's fucked. I thought you lot had it fucked with Trump. But
Yeah, we've
gone up
got our
to
own
Boris.
mini Trump now.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. And they
Yep.
they seem to love each other.
Mm.
So
I think
Yeah.
we should play something that means quite a bit to you guys. If you guys could please bow your heads for me. Well, I'm gonna let it go.
You're like, fuck it, I'm going to play the 6-minute version.
lucky it's one of the shortest ones going, I think, so it shouldn't be too bad.
Oh man. 3, 2. Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Ian.
Pete.
Welcome to this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. This is the weekly podcast where my friends and I talk about the things that matter the most to us this week in collecting. We're joined here by our English host and English friend, Pete. What part of England are you guys from? Ian, of course, you're from Sutton. Pete, where do you reside?
Well, I'm about 40 miles from London, really, so out on the coast.
Oh, nice.
Kind of. So,
Do you guys hang out in real life or mostly?
No, we've never met in real life. We've
Wow.
met via the Facebook groups, and then kind of as we'll get onto a bit later, a kind of personal obsession of mine and a little bit of Ian's, and kind of
Ooh.
brought us together.
Maybe we
yeah.
can set up a meeting with you guys. We can make dreams come true. It's like Make-A-Wish, but like the worst possible version of
Yeah,
The most low budget
Well,
shitty
Pete-
version of Make-A-Wish.
it. Yeah, Pete, we appreciate you being on the show tonight. Ian, I think
thank you
you're
for having me.
contractually required to be here, but Pete,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Tell us,
I'll
Pete, a
start.
little bit about your collection, a little bit about what you collect, and maybe how you got involved with our podcast and how you found us.
Yeah. Well, in terms of the podcast, obviously, I chat to probably chat to Ian on on a daily basis on our little group we've got with another guy, David Upton. Just talk shit and post up pictures of people's awful figures that we've seen, and we just anything really.
Two of those.
And I think Ian put me onto this podcast. I hadn't heard of you guys, and he said, give it a listen, whatever. And loved it from kind of like the first listen, really.
Nice.
Yeah.
How long have you been a listener of ours?
I think I've probably listened to about 10, 15 shows now. So
Very cool. Very cool.
I haven't gone back and listened to all of them, but
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. Star Wars just put up that big timeline of a whole series, and it's like the Resistance era, the whatever era. The first 15 episodes, I like to call those the Dark Ages, and then after that, it gets really good. It's sort of like The Office season 1. You got to get past season 1 to get into the good stuff. But again, thank you so much for being here. And Ian, you're a wonderful human being, and we're glad to have you on as well.
In terms of my sorry, do you want to just say a quick word about my collection?
Yes.
So I'm pretty much exclusively 1/6 scale, apart from the odd Lego bits and pieces, which we'll talk about in a bit. I tend to collect mostly Star Wars, Marvel, DC, anything 80s, so Aliens, bits and pieces, things that kind of spark that childhood sort of sense of wonderment and things like that. So. And make a few custom figures and bits and pieces.
We'll have to have you post up a collection on Ox, and we can.
People
can have a frame of reference for your stuff.
Definitely.
Dean, we start off all of the best shows with a very special segment, and we know how terrible this jingle goes on remote when we're all recording remotely. But I'd like us to talk new this week.
All right,
Would you like to kick
this week. Yeah, it's just whatever you got new this week. We're recording this just a few days after our initial.
Yeah, it might be a short new this week, but
I picked up this guy.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, very cool.
I just happened to go into a GameStop and they had him. I was like, oh shit, okay.
Funko Pop Boba Fett.
Yeah, he's like the only pop I really collect. So I had to pick him up. And then let me pull up my eBay here. We're gonna talk about this figure a little bit later, but I just bought this today for my next custom.
Yes.
Oh,
I thought you had it already. I was like, God damn.
I thought I did too. I don't know where it went. Here it is. Yay. I initially had missed out on this bid, and I messaged the guy, and he was like, yeah, I'll relist it, bid again. Okay, it's a 1/6 scale
cool.
Michael C. Hall, Dexter Morgan.
Very cool.
I've been like obsessed with that show lately. And I was like, you know what? Like, does anybody make a Dexter? And the head sculpts that are on eBay are garbage. This one actually ended up being the best looking one I could find. So it's like, I don't know, $20 for an unpainted sculpt. Pretty good. So
is it from China?
No, it's actually, I believe it's from the UK. Well, it says Euro, so
it might not be.
Oh, Spain. Sorry.
Close.
Yeah.
in that
we're all the same for now.
Yeah.
I just know my PayPal did a weird, like, oh, you paid euros. I was like, all right, whatever. But yeah,
I've seen some nice customs of Dexter, and you get some nice clothing sets. And I'm not quite sure who made them and stuff, but there's some good stuff out there.
I think people get like the banner shirt and that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Or the tight kind of long sleeve T-shirt kind of.
Yeah, I kind of want one where he's like in his like just like his lab outfit. But I did find his like stalking outfit, so
yeah,
there's a few options. I could just do like 2 bodies and just pop the head on them.
There was a guy a while ago who made the syringes and stuff, and the little slides he's got.
Dude,
it wasn't.
I found him on eBay. He wants like $200 for those.
Yeah.
It's like here's the drill, and it's like $200. I'm like, it's
not worth
$200.
Like,
maybe if it was like a whole set of like the Dexter, but it's like each thing individual, like a table, the slides, the drill, the scalpel, the syringe. I'm like, God damn, dude.
Fuck that. You can probably get them cheap somewhere else or try have a go at making them.
Yeah, I'm trying to look through like
Yeah.
damn toys because they make like
Yeah.
soldiers and stuff, and like try and like piece together like a field medic kit or something.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that turns out. But that's all I got new this week. So what about you guys?
I got my Darth Maul finally. After the months of waiting.
That's
And
right.
I wasn't even sure if I was going to keep it because I was like, I don't know. I had the Sideshow one, and I thought, I'm just not sure. But then as soon as I got it, opened it up, I was like, nah, fuck that, I'm keeping it. It's awesome. It's brilliant. There's so much good stuff about it. Like, the only thing is, although you get two heads, I'm like, well, I'm never going to display the normal one because the screaming head, once you've got him like jumping up in the air and shit, it looks bollocks. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
But it's
funny because that head sort of came up with a lot of criticism. People saying, "No, that's not how he looked in the thing," but actually, it looks really cool. And
yeah, it's that because originally I was like, well, I'm not sure I want something that wasn't in the film.
Yeah.
But I love it. I think it's brilliant. The only pointless thing is the weird little hologram of Maul himself, because realistically, when the fuck are you going to display Maul with a hologram of himself? It was like the Emperor or something. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But and it's fucking massive as well. It's way too big.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Ian, a lot of people were having issues with, I guess there's some sort of gauntlet that goes underneath the plastic sleeve. What's the deal with that?
The worst fucking idea I've ever seen in my life. So what they do is they've got this weird little like bell end shaped bit of plastic, like plethora that goes on over the peg, and then you put the glove onto that. So in theory, it should hide the peg. But because it's plethora, mine came already with little rips in where they put the hand on.
Yeah.
So unless it was made out of proper leather, it's
kind of
just a waste of time. Yeah, and you might as well just take it off, and you can just pull the gauntlet bit down, and it hides it anyway. So it was probably at some point someone probably thought it was a great idea until someone decided to make it out of plethora, and then it just went out the window. So it's just not worth doing. Other than that, though, there's nothing on there that I think is shit. The belt I think is better than the Sideshow one because it's actual got a clasp at the back instead of those horrible little pins. So if you ever spotted it or whatever, it was always a nightmare to get the belt back on. But this is just all clips, so it's really good. I was very, very impressed with it, and the body's rock hard as well. Like it doesn't flop about like the Sideshow one.
I got rock hard when you said plethora. Ian, you also got some collecting weekly swag this week.
I did, yes. My magnets turned up. These ones.
You know, before you go into it, I must say, unintentionally genius to get a magnet that shape and size because people put them on their DTOFs where the little clasp is, and it's so smart. But you were saying you really enjoyed the quality, so let's tell the people about this quality.
I was surprised because they're proper like they're like vinyl, which I was surprised about because I thought it was going to be more like a stickery kind of thing. But they're really good, and the printing's on point. Like it's
really
the dog's bollocks.
Us.
Yeah. I love that
really good.
I thought it was going to be cheap and shitty because you guys.
Yeah.
Well, 3 T-shirts and all that.
We'll talk about that. I love that you said it stuck like shit on a blanket. What a
first thing I did was tested it out, stuck it on the fridge, and I was like, all right, that's the bollocks. When I go pull it off, I could not get the fuck
it off.
I had to get a knife behind it to get it off.
Took the paint off.
Yeah, that's probably to the fucking door with it.
Way with words, dude.
I know, it's a beautiful language.
Man, have you invented it? We can ruin it.
Tell us about the your barbecue experience with the spices that we sent you.
Yeah, so
the seasoning.
So the seasoning, I use that on pretty much everything now, and I've
good shit, isn't it?
It's fucking brilliant. I've only got a little bit left, and then I've got the tomato sauce. I've still got some of that left, the spicy one, and the barbecue sauce that went within like a week. I was having it on everything. It was on my Frosties, for fuck's sake. It was brilliant.
Let me know when you run out, and we'll have to.
You need to set up a supply
give you
chain.
A resupply. We'll have to work out some logistical things. But
because I need to send you lots of stuff as well because I've got that Vader head. I've just got to finish the eyes off, and then I was going to send that back with a load of other bits. So let me know what you want. Shepherd's pie mix, tea, all that crap, and then bung it all in.
Fantastic. Pete, what did you get this week?
Not really anything kind of for my core collection, but as you know, I've been dabbling with some Lego creations and stuff recently. So this week I got in bits and pieces to make 89 Batmobile.
Ooh,
Very cool.
In minifigure scale, which is really nice, really cool.
Dean, doesn't Manny have that in Lego scale, or he has the tumbler?
I think it's smaller than Legos. It's made of Legos, but it's smaller.
Oh,
Yeah.
very cool.
UCS would be like Lego scale, right? I don't know.
Yeah, depending on
some
the
of them, some of them aren't. Some of them aren't. I think they made a Batmobile, but it was big. So this is just like a normal minifigure. So it's very nice. And I'm just in the process of building a snow speeder at the moment. So I got all the bits in for that today. So
Nice.
gosh, bless your heart.
quite
Pete,
good fun. So
let's talk about your Jurassic Park Lego set, and that's how we met. You had us talking about it, and you sent me some pictures. So feel free, the floor is yours. Let's hear how you plan the build and sort of how you've managed the build. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, well, I've always loved Lego, and I play make a lot of stuff with my son and everything. And I had a few bits and pieces over the years, but I kind of got rid of them, sold them off. Then I got back into it with the UCS Millennium Falcon that came out last year, the year before, 2017, I think. Built that, loved it, put some lights in it and everything, and thought, yeah, that's cool. Then Lego came out with I think it's called the T-Rex Rampage set, which is the T-Rex, which is a little oversized for minifigure scale, but I think that's fine. That's not a problem. And the gate, the sort of with the doors and everything that go into the park. So initially, I hadn't really got any plans to do anything else with it. The set's about just over £200, so it's a reasonable sort of price, but you get a lot of Lego for it, so it's really cool. And I was going to leave it at that, and then I started thinking, oh, you know what, I could get a base for that, and I could add to it. So yeah, it just started from there really. So I kind of had the gate itself has like there's kind of a mud base with kind of tire tracks in it. So I started off by researching the pieces I needed. Obviously, they're all in the back of the instruction booklet, and then going on mainly Bricklink, which is kind of the main website
we've tried Bricklink in the past. It's a wonderful site.
Yeah, it's brilliant. So you kind of put your pieces in, say how many you need, and then it'll bring you up lots of different options. Bit of a minefield because you get stuff coming up from all over the world, and some stuff there's minimum purchases, and some Lego pieces are really cheap, so it's difficult to make up the minimum purchase. So anyway, so bought all the bits from many different people. Bought up a shitload of like trees, leaves and things, not really knowing what I was going to do with them. Just kind of built up a forest around the sides. I knew I wanted the Explorer, I believe it is, isn't it? The tour vehicle. So I actually purchased some instructions for one of those off eBay. Got the parts for that. Built that, was really nice. The Jeep as well, which is really cool. And then I kind of just had this idea of having the T-Rex, bursting out of the gates with all the other dinosaurs kind of running away from it. So you've got the three raptors there that are kind of running for their lives, and the pteranodons kind of making use of the thing that and then it's the lighting really that I think brings it all.
It's so good
to life. And that's a company called Vonado, Vonado. So Vonado.com, and they do a lot of because the first thing is I bought the set for the Falcon because I was looking at lighting sets and they were all hundreds of pounds, and I thought I can't pay that when the set itself is over £600. And then I think it was just a link on Facebook, and it came up, and they had a full lighting set for about £50. So I thought I'll give that a go. I think they're in Hong Kong or China or somewhere. And the kits are just beautiful. I mean, the LEDs are tiny, and the wires are just, they're so easy to hide. And yeah, they do strip lights. They do little lights that will go inside the little single, round light pieces. Yeah, and then they've got, obviously, effects boards, strobe effects, the flame effects I've got there, the flicker effect. Yeah, I just kind of went to town thinking, like, where could I put lights? I've got a couple of lights just sort of lighting up the forest either side of the track. Lit up the sign and everything. So yeah, I'm really pleased with it, actually. I mean, it's probably run me about £600 all in all, because Lego is not cheap.
No, especially when you're buying it part by part.
Yeah. But yeah, it's I'm really pleased with it. So I don't think I've got any room to start another major project with Lego. So I'm just making some of these small vehicles at the moment, really. But
yeah. Man, that's fantastic. It's a really nice set. How are you displaying it? Do you have it on a table, or do you have it?
Yeah, it's now on. I threw up that picture just an hour or so ago with the Falcon. So it's on like on the top of a low kind of sideboard. So as you call it, like a cabinet thing. So the Falcon's on there, and then the Jurassic Park's next to it. Light them all up. Looks really nice. So
congratulations. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
So for me, I did sell my Commando, and after the show, yes, I did. After the show, Dean and myself and Seth were talking, and Dean had kind of was looking to buy it, but Seth was like, if Dean doesn't want it, I'll take it right now. And Dean decided to let Seth take it.
Well,
being that we were in a bit of a time crunch for the GX77. Because once that would have gone on Amazon, then it's eBay prices, which is
right. I was like, well, I don't want him to miss out on the thing he wants, and then I wanted to work on that Dexter, so I was like, it's gonna tie up quite a bit of money. So I was like, I don't want to have Zach miss out. So
unfortunately, Dean, Seth does have a blank kit, so if it comes to something like that where you could pick up his blank kit, and you can always have Echo Base or whoever, make it to your liking. So your hope for a Commando, I don't think, is totally lost. My dad, who has been listening to the podcast the last several episodes, which is really, really cool. I think this podcast is, bringing us closer together. His favorite film, one of his favorite films of all time, guilty pleasure films, is Nacho Libre.
Nice.
And I was on Amazon, and I saw they had the Funko Pop of Nacho Libre, and I was like, for sure, like, this needs to be purchased. And we gave it to him last night, and he was super stoked. I just thought it was the funniest thing ever, because my dad doesn't know anything about pops or collecting or anything, and we took it out of the box, and he was admiring it, and it was really, really cool to see him get that. And hopefully he'll put it at his desk or wherever, but it's his favorite film, and he watches it like all the time. So that was really neat to be able to get him that. And then, like I mentioned, I potentially will have the GX77 later today, but Amazon is taking their sweet ass time on it.
Dude, you have to add ice cream to your order, and they bring it to your house first.
Really?
Yeah.
Sneaky.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I had a customer come through my line that like works for Amazon.
Yeah.
I work at a grocery store, and we're starting to do home delivery.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about like back and forth, and she was like, "Yeah, if you want to get your order first, you add ice cream to your order."
That's just Jesus.
Yes.
Very good.
Now, I also did some rearranging in anticipation of the GX77. If you look at the case behind me, I've added some figures to the case, moved my Dragon Ball stuff from the top right to the bottom two shelves. And Dean, in his infinite wisdom, I sent some pictures in our group chat last night. And one, I took the pictures for myself as a frame of reference. Like, if I fuck up the arrangement and I want to put it back, I need to know where everything was at. So I took some pictures for myself, and with these things, I tend to rush them, and I tend to get super frustrated and pissed and just be in a bad mood and make the whole home miserable. So I was like, I'm gonna do a one, because I technically my shelf is 4 shelves, but I consider it like 8 shelves, like a double T top. And I was like, I'm gonna do one of those 4 or one of those 8, and I moved everything out and then moved everything in, and then I took a little bit of a break, and I was helping my wife with the kid. Then I moved another one. and I took a picture. And my wife was like, "We need to go to swim lessons for the baby." It's like, "All right, that's fine." And before we went, I moved another one, sent another picture. 2 or 3 hours later, I moved another one, sent another picture. And when I was finally done, Dean was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Why do you keep sending us pictures? It took you that long to move that shelf." Totally ruined my mood. I was so proud of how it turned out. I adored the arrangement. And
Yeah, I was like, you sent the first picture at 6 o'clock. It's now 10:30, and you've accomplished little to nothing.
What I like is I wake up and I look at the chat and go, "What the fuck's been going on?" As I just scroll through.
yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
Dean's being an asshole again. Yeah.
typical Dean. Typical Dean. Anyways, so anytime Dean ever wants me to help him with anything, I'm just going to be super rude because that is how things go.
Hey, you already agreed to help me with Dexter, so
Well, I'll take like a picture. I'll do like one brush stroke and take like 3 hours, and then do another brush stroke.
well, that's what you do already.
Wow. Can you hear this guy? You hear this guy?
Well, to be fair, you walked straight into that one.
Yeah, I did. So we want to talk because we have Pete on the line for the first time, and I don't think it's something that we've talked too much about recently. But let's talk our first ever Hot Toys figure. What it was, where you got it, when you got it, how you got it, and do you still have it? I will take the lead on this one.
Mhm.
My first Hot Toys figure was the Hot Toys Return of the Jedi Boba Fett Deluxe. Now, that's not my first 6-scale figure. That was the Sideshow Deluxe Boba Fett.
Mhm.
But my first Hot Toys was proper. My first Hot Toys proper was Boba Fett. Now, that was a really good figure, though it did leave a lot to be desired. And it's funny because that particular figure was purchased around 4th of July weekend, maybe a little earlier in 2000, and I believe it was 16. Maybe it was 17. I think it was 16. And when I got it, it was from Sideshow. They sent me a coupon. I made an account on their website. They send you like a coupon book, and I got it for like, $30, $40 off. And immediately I was amazed by it, but at the same time, it left a lot to be desired. And Dean had posted in a group called Alamo Stash Bin that he had just gotten on 4th of July weekend a Sideshow V1 Boba Fett.
No, V2.
V2 rather. And when I saw his Boba Fett, I was like, the proportions look better. Maybe the armor weathering doesn't look as good, but overall, figure to figure, I like the way Dean's looks better. And we had talked about it just a little bit. I sent him a few messages like, "Hey, I collect Cisco as well. It's nice to meet you." Dean totally blew me off because he's a bad person. And eventually I came to the decision that I was going to sell my Boba Fett to get the Sideshow one. And I put up a listing, and Dean's good friend, Rainer, friend of the show, host, the man, the myth, the legend, was the one that wanted to buy my Boba Fett. And he did. And Dean, being the wonderful person he was, took Rainer to my house. And that's how I met Rainer and Dean at the same time. And I believe my Boba Fett is still in Rainer's collection. But it was a catalyst for Dean and myself becoming very good friends. A few months after that, we started our Facebook group on 6 San Antonio. And then a few months after that, we started the first iteration of Collecting Weekly. So that figure in itself led to what we have here today. So,
Yeah, that's cool.
Dean, what do you got for your first Hot Toys figure?
Oh man, I'm kind of looking through my old pictures because I don't know which one I got first, but I want to say it was Armored Batman.
Yeah.
I think.
Really?
I got it from you. It's my first Hot Toy. Either that or it was Captain America.
No, it was Armored Batman.
Okay.
Yeah, because I remember you got Cap after that. Yeah, so,
all my other ones were Sideshow.
Yeah. And you still have Armored Batman, right?
Hell yeah. I need a Wonder Woman in my collection, and I'll be good for DC because I don't really like Superman all that much. So
yeah.
He's a bit of a dick.
And she's in that movie anyway, so it's fine. But yeah, it was Armored Batman. That thing's so cool. And then I got that custom mouthpiece for it, so it doesn't look all wanky. Or janky, rather.
Yeah, I regret selling mine to Pete.
Yes, I do still own your one. Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Ian, what was your first Hot Toys?
It was Star Spangled Man. Got it.
Oh wow, interesting one.
Yeah, about must be about 6 years ago. I haven't got it. I literally bought it because it was the first hot toy could get my hands on. I started off with a Play Arts Kai Raiden, and I was like, this thing's fucking amazing. I love it. And then I was looking on some of the groups, and someone was like, this is a hot toy. And I was like, fuck it, Raiden shit, I don't want it. And then someone local to me was selling the Star Spangled Man. I think it was 130 quid or something. So I was like, yep, I'll have that. And then that was it. I just spiraled out of control from there. I wasn't even that big of a Captain America fan. It was just that it was there, it was cheap, and I could get hold of it. So I did. And the thing is, looking back at it now, I wish I kept hold of it, because there's so much I could do with it now.
Yeah.
That I didn't do with it at the time.
Yeah. What about you, Pete?
Yeah, I suppose I take the honor of having the oldest hot toy. Mine was unsurprisingly DX05 Indiana Jones, which
cool.
I think I picked up for about £200 at the time, which was a lot, 8 years ago. I stumbled on it completely by luck. I had a few Sideshow 1/6. I had some of the Universal Monsters and stuff, a few bits and pieces, and I collected all kinds of memorabilia. And I think, I don't know what I was searching for, and all of a sudden I just came up with this. It was on the screen, and I thought, fuck man, I've got to have that. I mean, I've always loved indie anyway, and I know looking back at it now, the head sculpt and stuff was a bit, but at the time, that blew away anything I'd ever seen, in that scale. So I got one from a UK company, Toy HQ, who were pretty good, but seemed to have their status has seemed to have nosedived in recent years. But I absolutely loved him, and I kind of, it's difficult to say whether I still own him or not. I still own the boots, the idol, and the revolver, which are on one of my custom indies. But yeah, so I don't technically own the box, I think. But yeah, that's what started me off on this Hot Toys adventure. And many thousands of pounds later, still keen. Just about.
Fantastic. Well, we're glad that you're collecting, and that's a really good figure for your first. God, that's a really good figure for your first. Ian, you mentioned it.
Second was the X09, so I went in at big time.
You went in balls deep.
Yeah, I did. No pissing about with MMS.
Yeah. Ian, you mentioned that you regret selling your Star Spangled Cap. Is there a figure that any of the other guys regret selling? For me, it has to be Mark 46. I got a really good deal from a friend, and the reason why I sold it was the hip, like where it kind of goes into the joint, had a bit of a paint chip there.
Yeah.
Very minor, but I just couldn't get past it, and I bought it for extremely cheap, and I sold it for basically what I bought it for, which is like $260. And like 2 months later, it was like $800. Not that I regret selling it, because I could have sold it for $800. But as someone who wants that figure in my collection, it's not possible.
You'll never get it back.
Yeah, exactly. Unless Hot Toys re-releases it, it's just not possible. But that's one for me. Dean, do you have? I know you don't really sell that often, but do you have one that you have sold that you regret selling?
Yeah, I traded you Grievous for this Mark 6.
Fuck you. That was the worst thing I ever done. That actually take it back. That was the worst thing I ever done.
And then I got rid of the Mark 6 for the 45 and the 43.
Yeah.
I sold the 43 because it's just, I don't know, the 42 is better.
I
like the 45, but I don't love the 45.
I had the 45.
Love the Mark 6.
Problem with the 45, the head sculpts, the suited head is too small. It looks weird.
Yeah. So, I ended up just buying one of these guys and
it looks fine with that on. Yeah.
But also you never see him like that in the movie, so it also doesn't make any sense.
No.
But yeah, I guess Grievous and then the Mark 6. So it is what it is.
What about you, Pete?
No, not really. No regrets. I've probably sold more figures than I own. Ian's quite prolific as well as kind of like moving stuff on. So no, I don't think there's anything I really regret. And I've never rebought a figure because I see these people on Facebook and they've rebought the same figure 3-4 times. I think why have you sold it just to rebuy it?
I
And
did
I've
that
never
with
done
the
that.
Death Trooper. I bought it 3 times.
Yeah.
I sold it, every time for what I bought it for, so I was not negative at all. But,
No.
yeah.
So so the way I see it is that as I've never rebought a figure I've sold, then I don't regret any that I've sold. So that's all
sure.
good.
Ian, let's talk about buying from Hong Kong because I know that you do that on occasion.
Yeah,
how it works and some pitfalls of being an international buyer.
Yeah, so how it's normally worked is, and I don't think a lot of people really understand the ins and outs of it, is you've got your middleman who's based either, like for me, he's based in the UK. He's got a contact in Hong Kong. So you place your deposit with your middleman. He then sends your deposit on to the bloke in Hong Kong, who will then go to Secret Base and either pay a load of people to queue up and then physically place your pre-order. He'll get then the ticket, and then you sit there and wait a year, however long, and then you will then pay up the remainder that then goes to your middleman, who's put his little bit on it. Then it'll go over to your bloke in Hong Kong, who will then put his bit on it plus his expenses. So if he's then going and say he's got 20, 30 of these to pick up, he normally pays people to do that, plus a van, plus these lunch, the whole shebang.
Yeah.
You then queue up for like a day to go and get it, then post it out to you. So the problem you've got with that, and this has happened to me fairly recently, is that it used to be over here in the UK, there was like a couple of people that did it. So there wasn't loads and loads of people having to keep going to Secret Base. And like you can see on the groups, the photos where they're queuing down like 12 flights of stairs.
Yeah.
You've got to pay those people. So the price just shoots up, and you'll notice that most people will put up an advert saying, yeah, get this, and like more, get this, it's batch 1, not a problem. You won't get batch 1. Batch 1 will be like 40 figures and there's like 200 people queuing up for it. You won't get it. So it ends up being delayed and you get on the second batch. So, but the bloke in the UK, because he's your middleman, doesn't have your money. You'll lose your deposit. He might keep hold of anything you pay to them send on, but he effectively, if you cancel, you've lost your deposit. You won't ever get that back. And if whatever you've then, say if he sent everything over to Hong Kong, it's sitting with someone on the other side of the world. There's no guarantee that they won't do a runner with it.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people look at it as though you're ordering from a shop. You're not ordering from shop.
No.
You're ordering from Bob and Dave
and their granny.
Yeah. So, and I think people, because as well, you might not necessarily get the Hong Kong stock. You could get the China stock. So do you remember when I was on before? I said I was getting a Thanos.
Yeah.
So paid the deposit, had the money there, paid all that, not a problem. The guy in China, because it was China stock, had 2. He sent 1 out, didn't send mine out, and then he's just ghosted my guy in the UK. So I've managed to get back everything but the deposit, but he's effectively done a runner with it. So there's not a lot you can do about it. It's not my guy in the UK's fault. It's the guy over on the other side of the world, but short of buying a plane ticket and flying over there, there's fuck all I can do about it.
Yeah.
So I don't think
the guy that is Hong Kong that ripped you off, is he someone that has like a profile that we can call his ass out or what?
No, I don't think so. I think he just deals with certain people.
Yeah,
so
that's rough,
I don't even know who he is. And that's another thing. People, the guys, the middlemen, won't really tell anyone who they're dealing with because I wouldn't, because you wouldn't want people going direct. So a lot of time you don't even know the person you're dealing with.
That's true.
So, and like I say, there's so many more people doing it now that
Yeah, it
I
seems
mean,
like every day there's a new person offering up a
Yeah.
slot.
Yeah. I mean, there are people in Hong Kong who have cottoned onto it and gone, right, well, I don't need someone in the UK or US. I can just post on Facebook.
Mhm.
Like I think Toy Wonderland and stuff like that. They're meant to be pretty good, but I've never used them. But to be honest, a lot of the time now, it's easier not to even bother doing it. Just
Yeah.
wait, because the Hong Kong stock will come in, people will buy it within two. Who's that?
Recut that last part. That was Dan. Hang on, real quick. Real quick before Ian, you recut what you were saying. After the community stupidness, we'll take a short break. I think. So probably in the next 10 minutes.
Yep.
I just got to go grab a key and run it to the front door because my dad's going to come. All right. So recut it from wherever you were.
Okay. So the guy in Hong Kong. So if you go for like Toy Wonderland or something like that, they're out in Hong Kong. So you're dealing directly with them. So it's not so bad. But if what I tend to think is probably the better idea now, particularly over here, is just wait, because the Hong Kong stock will come in, people are going nuts over it and buy a load. There's normally 5 or 6 people within that batch of say 30 who go, actually, I don't like this, I'm just going to move it on. And you end up paying what you would have done if you would have pre-ordered anyway and just pick it up secondhand. It's been out of the box for like a week. So that's my tack now. That's what I'm going to do.
And the thing is, if you quite often, as you say, you're waiting a year, people's collections have moved on, and they say, "Oh, it's doesn't fit in now." And
well, look at the new Batman. How many people do you reckon that have pre-ordered that? Probably moved on.
Yeah,
a lot of people.
It kind of released, and because everyone's been waiting for so long, Affleck's not even playing Batman anymore. No. Like a few people have sort of gone, fine, I'll just keep hold of my Batman versus Superman one. Fuck it.
Yeah, that's rough, dude. You guys, obviously, Dean and I talked about this on Tuesday, but I want to hear you guys' thoughts on the Rise of Skywalker trailer, sizzle reel, whatever you want to call it. What do you guys think about it?
I liked it. To be honest, like I said to you before, if I go back in time and tell my 10-year-old self, you're going to be in your 30s and you would have sat through another like 6 Star Wars films, I'd just shit myself and pass out. Like, it's Star Wars. I like it. The trailer looked good. I think there's probably quite a lot of red herrings in there. I don't think either Darkseid Rey is going to be like a Force vision or it's bollocks. They just went, like you said on the podcast the other day. I mean, Endgame, they shot a load of extra direction. It could be anything. I think they wouldn't put something that big into a trailer this early.
Well, on StarWars.com, they came out with like a transcript of the trailer, and they called it a vision.
A vision of Rey,
right?
And then they deleted it.
Yeah, I saw that Star Wars trailer talking about it. Awkward.
Yeah, I saw that.
Right? Like,
yeah. Oh fuck! Shouldn't have done
that. And there's also no release date for Disney Plus for you guys yet, right?
No, it sucks.
No,
it sucks.
No way.
Yeah. No. So the thing is, like everyone, all this is it D23? All the shit out of that, loads of it is like, coming to Disney Plus, and they've announced loads of countries, but they haven't announced anything for the UK. So either two things are going to happen. They're either just not going to release it in the UK until like the Disney stuff has run out on Netflix with the copyright and all that, or they make a deal with Netflix and they start showing it on that for a bit.
We hope.
If they don't, all they're going to do is everyone's going to go, all right, okay, I'll just pirate it.
Yeah,
because if you guys are going to get it in like November?
Yeah.
So I will be fucked if I'm going to go on Facebook and have the whole thing spoilt for me when I could just go to a pirated version and watch it.
I know Disney bought Hulu, but wasn't Hulu a UK-based company?
Years back. And I think, wasn't it just music when it first came out over here?
Yeah.
Because we don't have Hulu over here anymore.
Really? Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah, we don't.
Netflix is the big player over here.
Yeah, Netflix and Prime.
They were saying that piracy was going to go up anyway because everybody has their own streaming service now.
Yeah,
we have our own streaming service now.
Yeah. Why bother paying Netflix to host our shit when we could just start our own streaming service.
Yeah.
So it's like you could buy. I know ESPN is now a part of Disney Plus, but ESPN had their own.
Like all the channels have their own.
All
Like
their channels,
Discovery Channel, History Channel,
way more expensive than cable.
Yeah.
So people are just gonna be like, "Fuck it," and just start stealing it anyway.
Yeah.
And there's really nothing anybody could do about it. So,
and like,
pirate that shit, man.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they've got to understand that in this day and age, I mean, look at Game of Thrones. When that first came out, you guys would get an episode 2-3 days before. By the time it aired over here, every fucker had seen it anyway. Like, so then the very last series, it was like, right, they aired it at like fucking midnight over here when it was on with the same time as you guys got it.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to wait that long. You just fucking got up and watched it.
You just stayed up on
yeah. But like they got to realize that people are we're impatient, and the very nature of like the internet and social media and that, you cannot scroll down more than 2 pages on Facebook without some fucking spoiler.
Yeah, you know when Mandalorian drops, it's not going to be possible to avoid the spoilers. And I know Disney's trying to make it a little different because they're going to stream it weekly instead of releasing all the episodes at once. They're going to stream it like HBO, where it's but even then,
is it really? That's disappointing.
They said that all the original shows are going to be
that's
weekly.
Because I love it on Netflix. They just have all the seasons. I'll watch it at my own pace, which is usually in one fucking night.
Yeah,
because I'm a fucking slob.
A monster.
I didn't say monster. How dare you?
Dude, that bit last night or Tuesday was hilarious. QMX is putting out some original Star Trek series figures, and I know you guys wanted to talk about them. Ian, what do you got for me?
So Pete, he's got most of the original series. I've seen the stuff Pete sent me, and I've had a look at I've seen in hand. They do a Picard as well from the Next Generation, because I was more into the Next Generation than was the original series. So they do. I think they're going to release Data, Riker, Geordi, like the whole fucking lot of them. So once they've released a few more, that's a line I'm definitely going to start looking at, because like the detail on them looks really good. The only thing was, I think with the Picard, it had some staining on the neck. There was a lot.
But you never see it.
No, exactly. I didn't get why people were kicking off so bad, because it's an area you're not going to see.
No.
So
it is a little annoying for the price, but also it doesn't affect anything.
No. It's kind of like the purple coat Jokers and stuff. Like, it's stained in the arms. Why the fuck are you taking the coat off? Like, the whole point is you bought it because it's got the fucking coat on, so leave it on.
I wanted to put it on the agenda really because it's a little bit of a kind of, I suppose, a grinds my gears thing as somebody that's got on board with the original series stuff. I mean, I'm not old enough to have watched that when it was on, but I grew up with the movies with the original cast, and the chances of them making the movie versions is pretty slim. So I thought I'd get on board with these. QMX just sort of popped up out of nowhere. I didn't really know much about it. It made a few Firefly figures and bits and pieces. And these Star Treks, I thought, wow, they brought Kirk and Spock out. I jumped on those. They're about £150 each. Brilliant. Details great. The outfits and everything. They sold out really quickly, and they started changing hands for stupid money. So then the McCoy came out. He was about the same price, and I thought, okay, do I just stick with the 3, the big 3 players? And I was going to, and Ian will tell you that I spent a lot of time when they announced Scotty. I thought, do I get him? Because if I go with Scotty, then I'm kind of committing to the big 7, if you like. So Ulu, Chekhov, Uhura.
At that point, you're like at $1,500.
Yeah, and the thing with them, although they're really nice, effectively all you're buying is a head sculpt and a different coloured jersey, because they're all the accessories are the same. You're not really getting
apart from Scotty, because he's got like a finger missing.
Yeah, he's got the missing finger. Yeah, on one of the hands. So you're not getting a lot of extra. If you're buying different Marvel figures and stuff, that. So I did go with Scotty on the reasoning that it would look nice to have the red shirt in there as well. So I've got the 3 coloured shirts, and it does look lovely. I picked up the chair really cheap. Somebody was doing a sale, and I got it for about £50 or something, instead of 150. So I went with it, got the chair. Then we get to Sulu, and this is where the QMX have really fucked me off. They announced the pre-orders pretty soon after Scotty came out, and everybody was saying, and I ordered it through a UK company. Nothing against the guy; it wasn't his fault. He was told by QMX that these Sulu was going to be quite a limited batch. It was going to release within 2-3 months, so he needed full payment up front to secure your spot. So okay, I paid it, and now the price has jumped to £185 from 150, 160. So already I'm thinking, and the sculpt's not great on Sulu. And as I said, you're buying the sculpts really with these figures. So I thought, well, I'm in now. I've got to do this. So I just waiting, and all of a sudden around the end of May on Sideshow Freaks, some of the guys in the States start posting up pictures of their Sulu. No, hang on a minute. This UK company, this UK site is the UK ambassador for QMX. Surely he's going to be the first one to get them. So I start messaging. Oh no, it's Q3, 2019, and I'm like, dude, people have got them. It turns out that they released an early batch, and they all went to Sideshow, who merrily sold them on, even not just for pre-orders. I think people could just buy them off the site. So they've completely fucked over, anybody else. And I've said, right, I'm fed up. So I've got I swapped for another figure because I thought I can't be doing this with Chekhov and Uhura as well. Then they're lying to people. These release dates are just getting moved back.
There was a situation recently. I don't know if it's what you're talking about, but one retailer put up a statement and said that there was a limited batch of some of the Star Trek figures, and a U.S. company took the entire batch.
And
none were solicited to the UK. I was
Scotty was a limited batch, and I luckily got on the first batch of that, so they did get some out to Europe. But the people that didn't get on that batch are still waiting for Scotty. They're saying probably not even this year now. And then Sulu, they whatever happened between QMX and Sideshow, they gave Sideshow the whole lot of this first batch.
That's what company I assumed it was, but the statement was very vague on that.
And I thought, I can't, that's just not on. That really pissed me off. So I've swapped Sulu for a Return of the Jedi Stormtrooper, which I should get tomorrow, maybe. I'm not sure if I'll keep him or not, but it just gets me out of that Sulu pre-order. And as Ian said, if one appears on the second-hand market at some point, I can still pick it up. But I don't want to be committed to that line anymore, which is a shame for you, Ian, if you're interested in the next gem, because I think that they made a really good start, but I think they're I don't know, something's gone wrong there.
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff going on in the community, and Ian wanted to talk about it. Some wild things. I don't want to, and I don't want to insult anyone personally, but I just seen some posts that are just like kind of head scratchers. There was a post on Sideshow's group, and this guy was like, I thought that these collectors groups were a safe place to share your passion and whatever. And someone in the comments said, and let me see if I can pull it up real quick. It was one of the most wildest things that I have ever seen ever, and it was so wild that I had to go back to make sure that I read it correctly. Let me see if I can pull it up here. If not, I'll just paraphrase. But this guy basically said that he posted a picture of himself with a Hot Toys, I'm going to be very vague, in the bathtub. And he was upset because people were making fun of him. And
I think I got on that one. Was it on his toilet?
No, he was in the bathtub. But I've seen people posting pictures of their figures on the toilet.
I saw a Gandalf on someone's toilet.
I just don't get why you
Why
would
did one
one, I
take the
don't get
piss
why
out
you
of
would
that?
take
It's
that
perfectly normal, isn't it?
$300 figure to your bathtub.
Yeah.
And so that was a thing. And then I saw a post a few weeks ago, and this, I don't know, it was this week. Then this guy's like, I'm going to order my first Hot Toys. Should I do a payment plan or should I pay it all at once? And it's like, I mean, can your budget just take a $400 hit? It was a die-cast Iron Man. I was like, I mean, if you have $400 a month that at any time could be taken from your account, you know, by all means. But if you can't, then do a payment plan. It's just like, you know, and I get it. And I get it. These are maybe perhaps beginner questions, but I think that some of the questions that I see are less beginner questions and more just like, do you really wish you would have wanted to have said that type things? Like, you know, I see all the time people are saying, I don't know what figure to get. Which one should I buy?
Yeah, you were saying about that.
And it's like, you know, I mean,
whichever one you fucking like.
Yeah.
If you have to ask strangers on the internet what $400 figure you should buy, a $300 figure you should buy,
one.
you probably
ain't
don't buy it, you know?
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of people getting ripped off from doing friends and family on PayPal or bank transfers or, oh, I bought a $60 Iron Man on eBay and it came and it wasn't what I expected. Like, the community has also been a little toxic lately. In some groups, you know, people are just being very, like I said, we kind of joke a little bit about some of these newer questions, but we do it in good fun. But I see a lot of people some people when a new person has a question, which is a legitimate question, like, oh, I got a wrist peg stuck in the hand, or I got this and that. They kind of belittle people. And we've seen several people mention this on Ox this past 2 weeks, but like, oh, you know, that these smaller groups are where it's at if you're a new collector or if you want like a better environment to share your things with, because, you know, in these smaller groups, everyone knows everyone. And because of that, there's less, you know, if you're in a group with 20,000 other people, there's a lot of anonymous, you know, like you can just kind of like get lost in the huge amount of people that are there. And in these smaller groups like Ox, like everyone knows everyone's names, everyone's super nice to each other. And I think it's because we have such a tight knit community that, you know, if we had a 20,000 person group, we would lose some of that. Ian, was there any examples that you wanted to talk about that you had kind of
I've got metrics
about?
I don't know what it is.
Yes, there is.
Yes, there fucking is. I don't know what it is lately, but I've just got no tolerance for a lot of stuff. And like, don't get me wrong, if you're new, I will help you out. It's not a problem. I've got all the time for anyone new. But some of the shit I'm seeing, you just think. My philosophy with social media is, if you're not comfortable with going outside into the middle of like a crowded fucking place and shouting it out, don't fucking put it on social media. So like the other day there was a Superman, loved it, it looked really good, apart from the fact it had the biggest fucking dick you've ever seen in your life, and it was blatant, like practically down its knee. The bloke's then getting his ass ripped because people are going, well, why the fuck have you given Spider-Man such a big dick? Which, to be fair, I don't think is an invalid question. Why have you done that?
Yeah.
And then he gets the ump going, oh, you know, I should be able to post my pictures. Yeah, you should, but perhaps not Spider-Man with a lob on.
Yeah.
Was it a Fison body?
I think it might have been. I think he was thinking, I've got this bag of dicks. What am I going to do?
Yeah. Well, apart from send them to your mates.
Yeah, apart from like you do.
Yeah.
But it's stuff like that. Like I just think people need to have some sort of common sense when they post stuff. Like if you're going to post a figure with a massive giraffe neck and then go, this is the best thing ever. Well, clearly, like even if you just posted, look, I know the neck's a bit long. Has anyone got any suggestions of what I can do?
That's totally better.
Not a problem.
Don't go on other people's customs and tell them they look bad. Like, let me see yours, and then you got giraffe neck Michael Myers. Is like, it doesn't work.
It just, you think, for fuck's
The
sake.
one that I thought was quite funny was, how does one buy Hot Toys if you don't have any money?
Oh, that's
like
the best.
Mate,
Hey? What?
It was today on one of the groups. Some bloke was like, "Oh, how do you buy Hot Toys?"
You know, obviously, like I have a pretty small toy budget, you know, with the commitments that I have. But you know, I buy Hot Toys here and there, once, twice, 3 times a year. But you know, don't.
Yeah, it's such a dumb.
You know, I don't know if it was a joke question, but it certainly seemed like that.
But that's the problem. There's so much of this crap on there at the moment that anything that is a joke can just be lost because there's that much of it on there.
Yeah.
It's just, I just can't help myself sometimes. It's just, no. Just think, fucking idiot.
Let's take a quick break and then we'll get into some really cool things that we want to talk about. We'll be right back. We'll let everyone get settled again and we'll continue the show.
Perfect.
Cool.
All right, guys. I got to drop these keys off the front door real quick, get some more water, and then we'll be back like in 2 minutes, maybe.
Yeah. Sounds cool. Cool. He said drop the keys off, but he really means he's going for a massive shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
2 minutes is optimistic.
Well, he's got a huge asshole.
Yeah.
Dropped straight out.
Yeah, it goes thump, thump.
Yeah. When he farts, it's like a foghorn going.
Dude, he's gonna watch this later and be like, what the fuck, guys? Is there anybody in the chat?
I haven't looked at the chat yet.
Nobody in the chat?
No.
I guess it's the middle of the day.
Well, yeah, it's 22. 11 over.
Yeah, it's 4:41 over here.
So it's too early for your lot and kind
Too
of
late.
maybe a bit late for our lot, yeah. So
Well, I'll be back in a minute. Hang on.
okay.
Kevin, come here.
Is that your dog?
Yes.
Cool.
Zach got him this toy. I've been on mute half this episode because he keeps playing with it.
That's better.
You just have a tot of whiskey.
That quick power wank.
Well done. Well, at least it's cooled down a bit over here, Ian.
Oh, it's fucking horrible.
That hate's been fucking vile.
How's it?
Yeah.
Probably nothing to you.
No, you're Texas. I mean,
Yeah.
but you don't have the humidity. That's the killer.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
It's been hot.
Let's see. I don't even...
Things, it's all right when you sit by on a sun lounger or something, by a pool, but
Yeah.
stuff at work is shit.
Sweating your ass off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 100 right now.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck
okay. Wow. Yeah.
At 5 in the afternoon.
bollocks to that. Fuck that. See, we cannot complain, Pete, in the slightest.
No. Well, we got to 40. I don't know what 40 is in Fahrenheit. That's well over 100, isn't it?
Mm.
But that was just the one day. And then-
20
I know, I keep forgetting that you're not Fahrenheit and we're, the proper...
Celsius.
I don't know why we use Fahrenheit. Everyone else doesn't.
Just to be different.
Or like kilometers.
Yeah, that's another weird one.
No, we've stuck with miles, haven't we, over here?
Because we invented it, it's our measurement. We can do what the fuck we like.
Yeah, exactly. Was it us? Was it the
Yeah.
Romans?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's gonna get up to
it's all
60%
that.
humidity tonight. God damn.
So how's the new job going in? Good.
Yeah, good. Really
What are you
good.
doing now?
Same as what I did before, but I'm client-based now. So I'm a horrible health and safety person. But, yeah, instead of working for a building contractor, I now work for like a client. So yeah, it's good. I'm enjoying it. It's only my third week. So, but yeah, hopefully this company won't run off with my pension like the last one did.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's good. It's good you
Yeah.
managed to get something, really quickly as well.
Yeah, no, I was really lucky with that.
All right.
Quick,
Sorry
stop talking
about that,
about
guys.
Yeah,
Oh no, what are y'all
Yeah.
saying?
no, nothing.
No.
No.
Pleasant.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. And we are back. So the Joker trailer, which is labeled as the final trailer, dropped yesterday. And I really enjoyed it. The pacing, I think, of this film is either going to be hit or miss. The trailer just seems like it's going to be paced a little weird. A lot of people are thinking this film is going to be a dud based on the trailers that we've seen. And I know that the DC studios, they do have some struggle with bringing these characters to the big screen. What do you guys think about it, Ian? What do you think about it?
To be honest, I liked it. I thought I want to go and actually see the film before I just completely write it off.
That's exactly where I'm at right now. Like, it looks good enough for me to spend, the $40 for me and my wife to go and see it.
Yeah.
Whether it's going to be the blow my mind film that maybe I felt it might be after the first trailer, I don't know. But I really think that Joaquin Phoenix is one of those actors that always brings the heat.
Yeah.
And I think that he's going to just, whether or not the movie is good, I don't know, but I think the Joker that he plays is going to be good.
The laugh he does in there is fantastic.
Yeah.
Fucking fantastic. Dean, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I'm kind of at the same point. Like, I just want to watch it.
Because it comes out, what, like next month or the month after, October?
Yeah.
So we don't have too much longer to wait.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Like, you almost have to look, despite it being called Joker.
Yeah, because it's not really the Joker movie. It's,
No.
Right. Because I was like, wait a minute. It doesn't say like DC anywhere in this trailer. Except at the very end when it's like coming out soon. Like at the very bottom, it says DC Comics. And I was like, is this like the Joker? Like, what am I fucking watching? Is it just like a guy who, what's the word?
Calls himself the Joker.
Or like inspires the Joker.
Yeah.
Because especially with this last trailer, it really doesn't make any sense. Because it's like, okay, so he's like a clown who's like suffering from some kind of mental illness, and then he becomes like a celebrity, and then people take to the streets and riot with his clown face. Like, I don't get it. Like,
I
which
think
is probably good that I don't know what the hell's going on.
The thing is, because the Joker's never had a actual proper origin story. It's always like, this is what could have happened. No one really 100% knows. Like, I think they can, it could just be another version of it. Like, and that's what I think would be kind of cool.
Have they said that it's in a non-Batman world, or just that Batman isn't in this film? Because I wasn't sure about
it. I think in one of the earliest teasers, there was a Wayne Enterprises something in the background. And it's my understanding, and they've said this months ago, we talked about it on Collecting Weekly, that this character that is the Joker is like an illegitimate son of
Thomas Wayne.
Yeah, exactly. Of Bruce Wayne's father. Okay. And so that's part of his, life story. Again, that was conjecture, but I'm really excited for it. We'll talk about it once it comes out, but I think that they've shown just enough. Like, they teased us with the makeup test back in earlier this year. They dropped a fantastic first teaser trailer and then the final teaser trailer. I just really don't want it to get to a point where we're seeing too much footage. I think we've seen just enough that we need to get us in the theater.
It's called War Paint. Thank you.
It's called what?
War Paint.
Oh boy, don't even get that. Don't even get me started on that. There is a gentleman, Hendro Wu, that makes some really wonderful lighting kits, and I know that you guys, Ian and Pete, that you guys wanted to talk about them. Let's hear. Tell me about them.
Yeah, I was looking for Ian was like, we chat a lot about light up features in figures, and neither of us have really used them because they're such a pain in the ass. Put the batteries in, you've got to get to all the switches, and if you've got a nice Detolf display, you do not want to be trying to reach in and turn the bits on and off. If you leave the batteries in, they run out and they leak and all that kind of stuff. So I've never really used the light up features. I dabbled with making some cathode lightsabers myself to no success at all, and just snapping the fuckers all the time. And I got one to work, and then it just burnt out in about 2 minutes. So some great guys making those, but at $100 £5 or whatever a saber. Plus you've got to supply the handle. I've kind of not gone down that route. And then I just stumbled upon this guy Hendra. He's based in Australia, I think. He basically just makes little kits that replace the batteries. So, for example, the light up Hot Toys lightsaber arms. So that takes 3 of a particular little sort of watch battery. So he just kind of does a lot of soldering or soldering, as you guys would say. I'm never quite sure why that is the case. And so it's kind of, and that goes into the battery compartment. And you've got a couple of wires coming out, and then that just connects up to like a USB plug socket. So obviously, with a little bit of careful routing and stuff of the wires, you can kind of have those permanently set up. And I've got 4 lightsaber arms. I've just got a kit to do the Sideshow 3PO eyes and the Hot Toys R2D2 lights, and also a Mark 46 kit that he does. I've got the concept one. I did have the Civil War one like you, Zach, and I sold that on because I like the colours of the concept one. I think they're more comic book. And so I just wanted to kind of recommend him really if people wanted solutions. I know there's the soap reactors and stuff, the famous one for Iron Man, but I think they're very expensive. I think this one was about £50-60, I think, about 100 Australian dollars. It's normally quite a quick turnaround, and the post seems to be really quick from there. So he's great, and he'll kind of work with you. So he does the standard Iron Man and stuff, but you can just say to him, "Look, I've got this figure. It needs these batteries," and he'll just make it up for you. Just makes them up. I'm really
priced pretty reasonably.
Yeah, I think something like 30 Australian dollars for sort of like say R2D2, 3 sort of watch batteries. So and you can just build up, and you can say whether you want it on all on one cable or separate cables or what have you. And then I've just he does do options where you can have a little remote, or they can be Bluetooth, which you can operate with your phone as well. I just plug all mine into like remote plug sockets, and I've just got it all on one kind of thing. But it's really good. You should check out his stuff. He's quite active on Facebook. And
does he do it under a business page, or does he do it just as his personal?
He's got I'm not sure. He's got both. He goes under the company's Fusion _reactors is what he calls the kind of company. So I'm not sure if he's got one under that or just under his name. But I'm really pleased with it, and it's kind of brought some of the figures to life and stuff. It's nice to have the lightsabers, and they're not as good as as bright as or anything as a cathode, but I'm quite happy with that. So basically anything that runs off a battery, a watch battery, he can make up for make these sets up for you. So
Hendra, if you're listening and you want to sponsor this podcast, hit your boy up. Back at collectingweekly.com. His kits have been all the rage on the groups with the Iron Man collectors, especially because that is such a prominent part of our hobby. And supposedly he makes very fine work. And I love to spotlight people that make good stuff. So definitely check him out if you get a chance. You guys are big Indiana Jones fans, almost to the point where you might consider it somewhat obsessive. Tell me about your obsession with the character and the property.
Well, it's kind of it's me mainly. And it's a bit like your story with Dean. That's kind of how Ian and I got talking really about indie. We had a kind of a combined passion there. But I don't know. I told you about the DX05 that I got in 2011, and he stayed pretty much stock. I didn't really have, because I know that Hot Toys has been going for a little while, but I was in it on quite an early stage. I had no idea that there were people doing customs and bits and pieces like that. And another guy on the group, Steve Ure, I don't know how you pronounce it.
URIE, I think is his name.
URE, yeah. We'd been chatting about something, and he messaged me up and said, "Oh, I don't know if you've seen this Sideshow Freaks website. And this is before it all got fucked up by Sideshow saying you can't have this and that. That this guy Inigo Gil in Spain was releasing a custom head sculpt, which is the V1 as we call it now. And I thought, well, okay, well, wow, you can buy these heads, and I'm like, well, how do I get it painted? And then he said, oh, there's a guy, UK-based guy, Mark Simpson, and his work's amazing. So I got the head sculpt sent it to him, and that kind of just started this whole thing, just like the giant ball in the temple at the beginning of Raiders. I just ran with it, and it was just a continual upgrading of stuff. So I realized, people make, Hot Toys was fine. Never a big fan of the jacket. Heard about this Sovereign Studios. Apparently, this guy made these jackets years ago, and they were a little bit sort of sought after. I managed to get hold of one of those. Then I was introduced to Mike Fisher's work. I don't know if you guys know of him. He makes leather belts, holsters, whips, that kind of thing.
Really fine leather stuff.
Brilliant, really good, all stitched and everything. And to start with, I think when you start getting into the custom stuff, you're like, whoa, how much? The prices just hit you in the face, and you're like, oh, I can't really. But I think as you come to appreciate the craftsmanship and the work that goes into it, you kind of think, well, actually, I can't really justify that it's worth that, but I'm happy to pay that. So I picked up one of his sets, and loved that. And then I decided that I picked up another V1 head. I made a Last Crusade indie, gave him a tie, and I made a Grail, out of some Fimo or something. And then decided I needed a Temple of Doom indie, and then he's great because you can, rip him up and do all the damage and bits and pieces. And I set up a group. I think there was a couple more people in it to start with, wasn't there, Ian? But it was myself, Ian, and David Upton that kind of stayed in it. And we were just bouncing ideas off each other, and recommendations for this and that. And obviously, then I've found out that Ian painted and all that kind of thing. We've sold bits and pieces to each other and saw stuff, and I started making some whips of my own, which Ian's got one on his figure, which is nice to see. And now I've got currently have 9 indie figures.
God damn. I thought I had a lot with 2 Vaders, but god damn.
Yeah. So I've got Raiders Temple Doom. The initial Temple one, which is kind of my Grail one at the moment. It's got Yunsil Tory box, you might have seen them as shirt and trousers, and a Kato jacket, which is a real leather jacket. I think they went for about $300 when they first came out. He's currently making a new version. He's charging $800 just for a jacket. I mean, it's unbelievable price. I mean,
you could buy a real leather jacket for $800.
Yeah, buy 3 for that. So that's way beyond. I mean, I don't even entertain that sort of thing. So I'm happy that I got one of his older jackets at a reasonable price. I've got what we would call a Streets of Cairo indie. So no jacket, sleeves rolled up, and that's got the smiling Inigo sculpt, which is like his V3. So it looks like the classic poster of smiling Indy with his whip above. So I have that. I've got one mounted on a horse. Now I've got what I call an on-set Harrison Ford. So he's sitting in a director's chair, just chilling out between takes. I've got premium format Sideshow Indy, which is the 18-inch one. Did a lot of work on that. All of the pleather stuff was fucked. So that was when I first started getting into. I made a new leather belt, holster, whip, and that's kind of where I started making bits and pieces. And I have the Matte Prim Disguise indie, and then I've got Temple of Doom. I've got the Final Scene Rope Bridge indie. I've got a Tuxedo indie, all with Inigo V2. There was an unhatted version, which is on the Tuxedo one. Last Crusade, I've got a Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which I shaved down a Hot Toys TFA Han head sculpt. to make him. I
That's a pretty
have
good idea.
I have a Grail Knight, which I made recently, and future indie figures. I'm probably going to be buying a Henry Jones off a guy I know that's got I think it's the Rocco sculpt, made by Mark Simpson, and he's got the most amazing pair of glasses that made by Full Metal Customs, who charge an absolute fucking mint. I mean, their stuff is amazing, but I think these glasses cost him like £200. So I don't actually know what he's asking for the figure. He's been a bit cagey, but he's a guy I trust. I know him, so that's probably going to happen soon. And
it's funny when you get into 6-scale stuff and you're like, God damn, my real glasses cost less than these.
Yeah,
6-scale.
I know.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Man. I bought
Scary.
shirts for figures or gloves for Vader, and I'm like, man.
Yeah,
I went to the store to buy shirts, and I'm like, man, $8 for sure.
I'd never spend that on myself.
I dropped like $20 on a Vader.
Yeah,
I walk around dressed like a tramp. And
I was
I
was working on my Star-Lord because I had the V1, but I wanted the V2 jacket.
Yeah.
And the jacket was like $60. I was like, I've never spent $60 on a jacket for myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry,
insane.
Pete. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. That's fine. And then there will be one more. I'll say one more indie. So that'll be my 10th in actual Indiana Jones. There's yeah. I hope it's going to be my ultimate indie. Although the ones I got, I love already.
Dude, post some pictures of all those.
I'll post some up on Ox. Iris, I don't know if you know Iris the tailor. She's done a limited run. I think we stopped at 50 for a Raiders indie outfit set. So it's shirt, trousers, pants to you guys, and a jacket. And I sent put a couple of picture on the. It's really nice, and what I've loved about it is that it's been a real like labor of love. So the people in that group, we're all diehard indie fans, and there's been so much, and Iris has been great at saying, well, actually, the pockets are a little bit big, and they need to, and it's come about as kind of like from the passion of the fans. So we finally closed at 50. She's looking to get them out kind of October, November. So I'm really looking forward to that. So that is going to kind of form my ultimate indie, hopefully. And that maybe with the V4 Indigo Sculpt, which we're going to have a quick chat about.
Yeah. So tell us about the V4 Sculpt.
Ian?
So like Pete said, he's had I think there's 3 normal ones, isn't there? And the smiling. And
no, there's only 2. Well, there's the V1. There's 2 versions of the V2. One with the hat, one with hair.
That's it. Yeah.
And then the smiling, which is not technically the V3, but that's what it's become known as. Yeah.
So what he would normally do is send them off to a printer. He would print them, and you'd have another fella managing the actual run. This time round, it looks like he's printing, and he might even be handling the run himself. So he's got a new printer, but he's having a bit of bother with it. But the renders he's been throwing up are really good. Like Inigo, he's my favourite sculptor. Him and Rocco, just as far as I'm concerned, they can do no wrong. Their stuff's spot on. Like Inigo's Luke was good. In fact, both his Lukes were good. All these indies, his Han Solo. So as far as I'm concerned, even if I don't I'm going to get a V4. I don't need it, but I'm going to get it just because I enjoy painting them so much. And then I suppose I've got the option to switch out on mine. But I think
you've got the smiling on yours, haven't you?
Yeah. I can't remember when he was saying though when he was going to look at doing them. I think it all depends on the printer.
Yeah, he was thinking about October, but obviously with the issues he's having with his printer, that's going to get knocked back, I think. But
no, I'd recommend those sculpts to anyone. He does. I think with the Harrison Ford ones, I think he gets a lot of mileage out of them because I know he did like a Deckard and the Han Solo's just an indie one with different hair and the stubble taken away. But they're brilliant. They're really good. I can't fault them.
The only issue I have is I hope he stops after this one because I just don't want to have to keep buying them. I mean, it is an obsession, but it's got to stop somewhere. and then these guys keep bringing out better sculpts. I've got to have them. And then I think, well, do you know what? I could.
I can't see much of a difference. Like, it's getting to the point where you could stop, and it wouldn't be such a problem if
small refinement. But my problem is I don't think I'll buy the new sculpt and sell one of the others. I think, I'll just make another figure.
Yeah,
and that's what
fuck it.
Yeah, exactly. So I know that each one he brings out is going to cost me £300 because I'm going to make a whole figure out of it. So it would be nice if he stopped at the V4, but we'll see.
Yeah, see what happens.
Wait for V5.
Yeah, it's going to happen because if he makes a lot of money off of them, then I don't blame the guy. But yeah.
So we do runs from time to time, and we are closing the Monolith run. We had 3 orders total, and Dean, you picked up one, and Steven picked up one, and I wanted a second one for myself. So we're making 3 of those. I think the first prototype came out pretty good. I learned a lot from that process, and stay tuned. We'll put some content up on the YouTube channel as we receive our prints and finish them. I did get a chance to finish that 2001 spaceship, which was 3D printed also. And there's a product in the United States. I know y'all have Dettol, but there's a product in the United States called LA's Totally Awesome. And it's a really wonderful cleaning product. And what I do is, you can prime things, and some of our primers in the United States, they claim that they bond to plastic. And they certainly are an absolute nightmare to remove from plastic once you put it on. But this LA's Totally Awesome. You can soak your plastic or resin or anything. It's a very gentle product, and overnight it will, pretty much with an old toothbrush, you can scrub off paint. And every once in a while, the paint, the resin or the plastic will haze a little white. But I've used that product dozens of times to strip miniatures, and like I said, and a few weeks ago we had gotten into a situation where I had used too much filler primer and just had some bad priming going on, and I finally got the ship done. And it's funny because Cody from Echo Base was like, dude, that legit looks like a crack pipe, and I didn't take it seriously, but he posted a picture of some crack pipes, and I must say it does look pretty sketchy.
They were from his personal collection.
Yeah, right. There was I don't think that was from the internet. So my 2001 journey is coming to a close. I think I want to get the Dave Bowman Mafex figure. I know that they just put up a pre-order for the because when he first enters the ship after breaching the airlock, he wears the red suit with a green helmet. They're releasing a pre-order for that figure, but they do have the release with the red helmet, which is his typical spacesuit, and also the one he wears in the final scene when he goes through the Stargate. So I am very, very excited to own that, and I think it'll be a really nice display. The monolith is technically too short for 1/12 scale, but I think it'll futz it. I don't want to make it any taller because then it won't fit in my little cube there. You can see the monolith.
Yeah.
And I'm just very happy with it. What's that, Ian?
I thought that was a PlayStation 2. Didn't realize it was your monitor.
Yeah.
Right, my retro gaming collection.
Upright stand, yeah.
Damn.
But that's pretty much it for me for the show. Ian, your shirt is looking extra crispy, and I know there was some drama about that. We've had some members ask about the retro shirt. We had to pull it. TeePublic, the way that they operate, it's my understanding, is different facilities have different printing capabilities, and some facilities. Oh, those came from the United States. Okay.
I think if you get the what's the thinner type t-shirts, I can't remember what they call them, but if you get the thinner ones, they come from the States. Anything printed on a normal fucking Fruit of the Loom, not a problem. They do it over here. But so all the ones I was getting came over from your neck of the woods.
Yeah, definitely. So we pulled the design. I want to see if Manny can maybe make one that's a little simpler without the gradient, so that way more of our international collectors don't have to go through the hassle that you've had to go through, Ian. But for now, we do have that design pulled. So if you're someone that really wants it, I'm sorry, but we just we sold like 12 of them, and like half of them had issues in the wash. And I think it might be the heather material that is able to capture that print better. But I know all the people that got the actual solid black Fruit of the Loom type shirts. Those did not go well. If you're watching the stream, I have the Collecting Weekly embroidered hat. This is a new item that we just got. Ian will have to send you one. And it's a wonderful, wonderful hat. Now, this company, the way TeePublic works is you set up a store and it's free, and you can sell and you make a percentage of your proceeds towards, a credit that they send every month. This company, the way that they do it is you pay one fee. I think it's like $200 or $150, and then you have a little store on their website that your friends can buy from. And we're trying to run the numbers to see if it's worth investing in that, or if we just want to handle orders privately ourselves, where we place the order in bulk and we just have stock that we send out. We're still looking at that. But if you're someone, we sent out like 3 or 4 hats this week. So if you're someone that's gotten a hat, let us know your honest thoughts about the quality of the print, the quality of the hat, and the quality of the materials, because that's going to be a big deciding factor as to whether we make that large investment. And Seth, of course, thank you so much for taking the lead and making this initial investment for these hats. They're wonderful. I have tried my hardest since Tuesday to get this chicken sandwich. And now that we're done with collecting news, and so today I took my wife, her car needed a lot of things done to it, and I took it and got it cleaned and whatever. And part of it was getting the tires rotated, and the Discount Tire, which is like a tire shop, is like maybe 2 blocks from the Popeyes restaurant. And for you English folks, I'll explain, but we have a restaurant called Chick-fil-A, and it's God's gift to this beautiful earth. And it's fantastic, and it's always delicious. And there's the Bible proverb where you can feed an army with 2 fish and a loaf of bread, and those motherfuckers somehow never run out of chicken. I think it's some miracles that are going on in that kitchen.
The lines are always around the building.
And they never run out of chicken. I don't know how they do it. And so they got like a bird farm in the back with eggs and shit. I don't know, but the fuckers never run out of chicken. And I've gone, at this point, this is my 4th time to try to get this sandwich. And I'm walking from the Discount Tire, and I see the store, and there's no sign at the door. And I start walking a little faster. My heart beats a little harder. And I get to the door, no sign. Open the door. I even took a picture of the door. I was like, I'm so excited. I've entered Valhalla. Go to the counter, talking to the lady, super friendly. And I'm like, I would like 1 spicy chicken sandwich and 1 regular chicken sandwich. And she's like, honey, we're out. You motherfucker. Had me walk in this door, and I fucking knew that was some sneaky ass shit, because if you see the sign, you're not going to walk in the door. If you don't see the sign, you walk in the door, but you're in the restaurant already. You might as well order food.
Find something,
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, I'm here.
Sneaky.
I have to be here for an hour anyways, because my car's, getting worked on. I'm going to eat. Terrible chicken tenders. I was just so bummed, and so I get the chicken tenders, and they're asking me all these fancy sauces. Do you want blackened ranch? Do you want honey bar? I'm like, I just want ketchup. And they're like, we're out of ketchup. How the fuck you sell chicken and you run out of ketchup? That is wild. I'm like, did y'all run out of signs too? You couldn't put a sign at the door like you had all week? And so I ate this chicken with this nasty ass sauce. Had no sauce for my fries. It was an absolute nightmare. I'm like, y'all motherfuckers, there's a Walmart a quarter mile. You can't go and get like a bunch of ketchup. Like, unacceptable. Chick-fil-A will never do that to you. The Lord will never turn his back on you like that. And frankly, that was this terrible meal. I don't want the sandwich anymore. I'm completely over it.
Well, they took it off the menu. So.
They took it off the menu. Yeah, they've said that I guess they bought all the chickens. Apparently, no, it's not over. Their Twitter says it's coming back, but it's going to be a permanent, well-stocked thing. But they were saying that pretty much it's just like, they just don't have any. And while I was there, I swear there was like 40 people that came in. Do you have a chicken sandwich? No, boom, walk right out. Half of them ordered something, literally. And the worst part is because I sat next to the kitchen, and you can hear the drive-through coming over the intercom. Do you have any chicken sandwiches? Nope. All right, bye. Every minute, like they were getting slammed with trying to get these sandwiches. It was madness. And this old man was like, I took the bus here. I took like an hour. there's no sign. I tried to call the restaurant, but there was a busy tone. I felt so bad for this dude. If my car wasn't in the shop, I would have told him I'd take him home. I felt so bad. And he was like, "What days do y'all normally get your shipments in?" And they're like, "Oh, Tuesdays and Fridays." And but they're like, "We can't. When we get them, we have a line out the door like at 10 a.m. when we open." So
Wow, that's just unheard of.
That's mental for a
Yeah,
chicken sandwich.
yeah,
It's got
yeah.
to be the stuff of fucking legend.
Yeah.
I don't know.
this all started from
Popeyes
a Twitter beef, but at this point, I'm over it. So that's my
Well,
stuff. Dean, have you been able to get it?
No, I stopped trying. And then I heard it out the menu, so I was like, all right, I'm not wasting my time anymore.
Well, KFC in Britain, was it a couple of years ago, Ian, famously ran out of
Last
chicken?
year, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
pretty
hilarious.
much every KFC just shut because they had no chicken. Fuck me, it's the
Yeah.
only thing they sell.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
the only thing they sell.
Yeah.
Fucking mental.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, we are on all kinds of different audio platforms. Apple Podcasts is the one that we plug the most. If you're liking our show, if you enjoy the content, rate us 5 stars. It really helps us out. Helps us get promoted in the search engine, which in turn leads to more listeners, which in turn leads to more shirts, which in turn leads to more sales and a greater podcast that we're able to put more money we can put towards the podcast. So we're on YouTube. We still haven't hit 200 subs. We are like on the cusp of that.
I'll just make a second account.
Fuck, I'm gonna make like 3 accounts and sub because I'm like, this is really bothering me at this point. So if you have any friends that collect, let them know about our YouTube channel or a podcast feed. It really does help us out. Small Talk is recording tonight. Want to give a huge shout out to Damien for letting us take over the StreamYard account for this recording. Otherwise, it would have a bunch of StreamYard marketing stuff all over it. And we really appreciate that. They're doing a show. I think Manny had to cancel. He had something come up, but Damien and Jillian are going to have a wonderful show tonight for their 6th episode. Collecting Weekly Auxiliary is where you can find us on Facebook. A few simple questions to get in, but it's a really, really nice group. Everyone loves each other. We do a ton of giveaways there, and we normally announce all our giveaways there first. So if you want to win some hats, some shirts, some magnets, join there. TeePublic, you can search it by searching Collecting Weekly. Manny put up 3 wonderful Halloween designs, and those are just amazingly well done. We're still working on the retro one, like I mentioned, so please be patient with us on that. YouTube is youtube.com/collectingweekly. Twitter is collectingwkly. As far as shout outs go, our friends Brian and Chris and TC 6 Scale Scavengers, really great show. They really, really, really came through for us and gave us a wonderful breakfast, dinner, pancake thing, and it was great. Frank and Culture, Steve and his wife, they run a wonderful show. And one more shout out to my good friend Steven from Millennial Mutt. We're having dinner or we're having lunch on Saturday, and I'm going to give him his very own Collecting Weekly cap, and he's very excited about it. He actually, Dean, the Mondo 18-inch Iron Giant?
Yes.
Scored that one for a steal on eBay, so he's like really getting into collecting, and I'm excited to see that. It should be in tomorrow, so I'm really excited for that. That's pretty much it. Do you guys have anything that you want to, anyone that you want to shout out or anything you want to shout out?
Jesse. We need to get him back.
Yes.
Yeah, I talked to him not that long ago. He's planning on making a comeback. So
good. We need him.
Yep. Dean or Pete, do you guys have any shout outs you want to give?
No, all good. Thank you.
I hit everyone.
Yeah, he's like, fuck everyone.
Well, I'm Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Ian.
I'm Pete.
Catch you guys in the next episode.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Great show, guys. Pete, do me a favor and recut. I need you to say, like, as far as what I collect, and just recut that last part because I need to. I've skipped over that one in the beginning. So if you could just recut that and then.
Okay. Yeah. I mostly collect 1/6 scale, mixture of hot toys, various other makes, and a lot of custom figures actually, because you can't always get exactly what you want. Mainly Star Wars. So I've got a whole Detolf full of Star Wars, and I've got as we'll go on to talk about later, a vast indie collection: Aliens, Predator, Lord of the Rings, DC, Marvel. and a few Arnie figures. So a lot of stuff from the 80s that brings back kind of good memories and things like that. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Well, great show, guys. A really, really nice show. That was a good one.
Enjoyed it.
Actually, let me recut one thing real quick. Just bear with me. 3, 2. If you liked this United Kingdom version of Collecting Weekly, I know Ian. We really want to use him more for the show. He obviously provides some audio recordings for us here and there, but I feel like he just has such a wide breadth of talent and experience, and he has a wonderful voice that I really would like to have him putting out some more content. Yeah, exactly. And Ian mentioned that he might want to make hosting a show around 3:30 Central Time, 9:30 England time, a more regular thing. Every other week, or as you said, every fortnight, whatever that means. So stay tuned for that. We're going to work with Ian to set up some graphics and set up his show. But that's definitely something that you guys have to look forward to. And Ian, I thank you for taking the initiative on that. It's going to be a really, really fun addition to our lineup.
Always a pleasure, mate.
Anyways, guys, I'm Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Ian.
And I'm Pete.
Catch you guys on the next episode.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. Wonderful show. I'll catch you guys later. This should be up tomorrow.
Cool.
And again, thank you guys so much for your time.
No worries.
Excellent.
Catch you later.
Cheers.
See ya.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
See ya.